Dear viewers, welcome everyone to today's important news. First of all, I will tell you the news headline. Death toll in protests in Iran rises to 645. Meanwhile, Iran is ready for war, Arakchi. On the other hand, Iran is going to carry out its first death penalty for participating in protests. There is also the election in Venezuela, the United States has announced. And finally, there are 95,000 children suffering from malnutrition in Gaza, UN. I was listening to the news headlines, now the details. Before that, a small appeal. If you are for justice and humanity, if you want to show love to the children of Gaza, write in the comments that you want peace in Gaza, and subscribe to our channel because we say what many media hide. Now let's see the details. Death toll in Iran protests has risen to 645. The US-based human rights organization Harana reported this information. At the same time, 10,721 people have been arrested. They also said that Iran has been cut off from the internet for more than 100 hours. On January 28, traders in Tehran's Grand Bazaar first started the movement after the cost of living increased and the Iranian rial's record decline. It turned into a violent movement within a few days. Thousands of people took to the streets last Thursday at the words of the last Shah's son and exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. Protesters also took over the streets on Friday. Security forces fired the most shots at the protesters on those 2 days. Hundreds of people were injured and killed. In addition, more than 100 members of the security forces were killed, according to government sources. However, they did not provide any information about the casualties of the protesters. Iran has accused the United States and the occupying Israel of inciting peaceful protests. The protests have turned violent. Iranian officials say armed rioters have attacked government infrastructure. As the protests spread, U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to intervene militarily if protesters are killed. He made his latest threat on Sunday. Trump said he was considering strong action against Iran. He did not specify where or how he would intervene. Meanwhile, Iran is ready for war, Arakchi. If the United States wants to prove Iran's military capabilities and fight, Tehran is ready for war. The country's foreign minister, Abbas Arakchi, warned in an interview with the Qatar-based media outlet Al Jazeera. In an exclusive interview with Al Jazeera Arabic on Monday, January 12, he said that the path to talks with the United States is open, but they are ready for anything. He said that Iran's military preparations during the war with the occupying Israel and the United States in June last year are now even larger and more extensive. Arakchi said that they are ready if the United States wants to test Iran's military capabilities, saying, "If Washington wants to test our military power, which they have tested before, we are ready for it. I hope the United States will choose negotiations wisely." He warned those who are dragging the United States into war to protect Israel's interests. Regarding the ongoing movement, the Iranian foreign minister said, "Armed terrorists have entered the movement, those who attacked protesters and members of the security forces." It is worth noting that Iran is facing its largest anti-government protests since 2022. The protests began in protest of inflation and financial hardship, but quickly took a political turn. The protests, which began on December 28th, have already spread across large parts of the country. Protesters are demanding the end of the current regime. Protests continue in various cities in Iran. In the past few days, U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to intervene in Iran several times over the ongoing protests. He has warned the Iranian leadership not to use force against the protesters. Last Saturday, Trump also said that the United States is ready to assist the protesters. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian promised to overhaul the country's economy on Sunday. He also said that his government is ready to listen to the people. On the other hand, Iran is going to carry out its first death sentence for participating in the protests. The country's government has made final preparations to carry out the first death sentence for involvement in the ongoing anti-government movement in Iran. It has been reported, citing human rights organizations, that 26-year-old Irfan Soltani may be hanged tomorrow, Wednesday, January 14th, Fox News reports. He was arrested during the protests in the city of Karaj last week and charged with war against God or Moharebe. Soltani's family has been informed that his execution date has been set. Meanwhile, it has been alleged that he was not given the opportunity to appoint a lawyer during the judicial process. The human rights organization, Iran Human Rights, has expressed deep concern by comparing this step to crimes against humanity committed in Iran in the 1980s. The organization's director, Mahmoud Amiri Moghadam, said in a statement that the risk of mass executions or extrajudicial killings of protesters in Iran is extremely serious. They have reminded the international community of the responsibility to protect principle and called on the general public of Iran to come forward to save the Iranian people from this genocidal act. Another organization called the National Union for Democracy in Iran is seeking global support to save the life of Irfan Soltani, saying that his only crime was calling for freedom. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has taken a very tough stance against the ongoing unrest and repression in Iran. He has directly warned that the United States will take military action if violence is used against the protesters. Trump wrote on his social media account, Truth Social, that Iran has probably never seen such a possibility of freedom before, and the United States is ready to help them. The White House has confirmed that President Trump is seriously considering the issue of bombing Iran. Although a diplomatic solution is the first priority, Trump will not hesitate to use military force if necessary, said his press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. However, many members of the U.S. Congress have criticized Trump's threat of war. Republican Senator Rand Paul opposed Trump's position, saying that it is not the job of the U.S. government to directly intervene militarily in the freedom movement of another country. He expressed concern that if Iran were bombed, ordinary people might be angry with the current rulers, but might unite under the flag of the current government to save the country from foreign attacks. He also reminded the people of the constitutional requirement to seek permission from Congress before attacking a country. On the other hand, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said that if the U.S. launches an attack, they are fully prepared for war, and Tehran has also threatened to retaliate against U.S. troops in the Middle East. There is also an election in Venezuela, the United States has said. The White House, the office and residence of the U.S. president, has said that it is not yet time to say when elections can be held in Venezuela. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt made this comment on Tuesday, January 13th. Leavitt's comment came at a time when Venezuela's controversial opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, is going to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday, January 15th. Trump has not yet given a specific date for the election in the situation that has arisen after the kidnapping of President Nicolas Maduro. In response to the question of whether Trump has confidence in Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, Levitt said that Trump has taken the necessary steps after a very accurate and realistic assessment of the Venezuelan leadership. He also mentioned that Rodriguez and his team are behaving quite cooperatively with the United States. As an example, he mentioned the energy deal signed last week. We have seen an excellent level of cooperation between the two countries, and the president expects this trend to continue in the future, Levitt said. Finally, 95,000 children in Gaza are malnourished, UN. The United Nations has warned that malnutrition among children in the besieged Palestinian enclave of Gaza has reached an alarming level. Nearly 95,000 children in the enclave were identified as malnourished in 2025. Meanwhile, severe cold and adverse weather conditions are hampering the ongoing progress of humanitarian assistance. The humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip is dire. The adverse weather conditions are jeopardizing the progress made through relief operations, UN spokesman Stefan Dujarric said at a press conference on Monday, January 12, citing the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA. Dujarric said that organizations involved in nutrition assistance are still including a large number of children in the list of emergency assistance. He said, "Our partners involved in combating malnutrition report that they have tested more than 76,000 children last month. Of these, about 4,900 children were found to be severely malnourished, of which 820 were extremely malnourished." He added, "This brings the total number of children diagnosed with severe malnutrition in 2025 to about 95,000. Noting that UN partners have already provided tents, tarpaulins, and blankets to 28,000 families, Dujarric warned that about 1.1 million people still need urgent assistance, as incessant rains and strong winds are damaging and destroying temporary shelters. He added, "Our partners insist that tents are only a temporary solution. To begin the emergency and initial rehabilitation activities, we need more equipment, cement, heavy machinery for removing rubble, and uninterrupted funding."